Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Okay, it looks like you can hear me. Hey! Welcome, welcome. First of all, we are in the middle of the heat wave from hell, try not to swear in the first few minutes of the video, on the East Coast, and I live in an old house, so I don't have central air. So you very well might see me sweating tonight because I can't exactly have an air conditioner on while I'm talking. So you'll see me fogging up here. We have a special guest in chat, completely unexpected. Alexa, Nikolas is here. What is up, girl? Thank you for being here. I will say I want to talk about things as carefully as possible, and if you have corrections or extra insights, please leave them in chat. Everyone go follow Alexa. I will be doing a little intro about you shortly when we get to it. So yeah, that's the tea. Tonight we're going to talk about Kat Tenbarge, who I only knew of tangentially until she decided to go on a smear campaign against Ethan Klein. See, look, it's happening. So we're going to talk about her journalism, because I'm a writer, and I feel I like to talk about things that I feel qualified to talk about, which isn't always true, including with journalists. So we are going to have a little chat about that. I will say this, I'm not snarker brained. So I am not here to drag people and insult them. I just want to talk about what I know, share it out, and give my opinions and my thoughts on things, okay? I don't want to perpetuate lies. I don't want to make things up just because they are about someone I disagree with. So please keep me honest. Let me know if I am misstepping here, okay? And see, I'm just fogging up the whole time. Let me check the poll. Dandelion Fuzz seems to be the winner. Wow, it looks terrible in this light. It's a beautiful, like, goldenrod color, not this, like, doo-doo color that you see from my lights. So yeah, we will do that while we get started. I have so many links to show y'all. So, and my computer is, like, fucking hot. So hopefully we will be able to get through all of this evening. So yeah, like I said, we're going to talk about Kat's article about Ethan. And I do want to say up front, because I called this episode Mean Girl Journalism for a reason. I want to say it's not about being a B word, right? Because I'm a B word. I'm a C word a lot of the time. It's not about that. It's not about women not being allowed to have aggression and strong opinions. It's not about that. It's about the passive aggression, the antagonizing someone and then playing victim. Like, that is mean girl, like, middle school behavior. And we've been seeing a lot of that lately. And like I said on a past stream, I think it was the last one, I am like a hardcore feminist. I am highly critical of men and give women just about every benefit of the doubt they can get. But still, I feel it is appropriate to call out or call in certain people, certain women, and to address what's going on, because I'm seeing online journalism take a weird turn into sort of like muddy waters, and I would like us to have journalists that we can trust, especially female journalists. Call in. Yes. Love y'all. Thank you for all the love in the chat. All right, so did I have anything else I wanted to say before we start? No, just like the mean girl thing. It's not like calling a girl bossy. It is a very specific kind of woman who still acts like a middle schooler, and who still, manipulates through language, because girls are not really taught to express their aggression and their anger. So we are taught to be secretive about it, pinch you behind the teacher's back and then get you in trouble when they yell at you or when they yell back at you. Like this, I have been on both sides of it. I've been a bully in elementary school, and I have also been horribly bullied in elementary school and middle school, and a little bit in high school. So I understand both sides of it. I understand the pull to be a mean girl, because it can be a lot of fun, especially when you have people that agree with you. It's almost like a cult or a gang, where everyone gets to let out all their ugly emotions on a scapegoat. But it's not journalism, and it's not healthy. Okay? So that's where we're going with this. I'm going to try to keep it as real as possible. And like I said, I am pretty new to all of this. I come from the H3 community. I'm a huge Ethan and HILA fan. I don't think Ethan is perfect at all. And I'm sure that as my YouTube stuff goes on, I will be critical of him. And why is that? Because I know that he can change, and he can grow, and he can apologize and make good on those apologies. Unlike some other streamers and internet personalities we're seeing right now. So, okay, let's begin. Once I get my nails all done. All right, so Kat Tenbarge. Her picture is not up on here, so let's see if we can find a picture of her. Here we go. All right, so this is Kat Tenbarge. She is, claims to be, hi Addie, welcome. She is an independent journalist, is what she calls herself, as of February of this year, I believe. Yeah, February of this year. She was most recently at NBC News. We do have her LinkedIn, which is totally public, so I'm not doxing anyone. She went to Ohio University, I believe, for journalism. Let's find out. Media ethics is pretty funny. given the stuff that she is wading into. So this, I guess, was one of her courses at Ohio University. That's just a little shade. Yeah, so she did a bachelor's in journalism and environmental studies. She was in the Vagina Monologues. So was I. I was in the Vagina Monologues a couple times. Both, was it twice or 3 times? I think it was 3 times. And twice I did the really, funny one about, going to the gynecologist and having it be, a more comfortable experience, and, how much women hate tampons and all of that. I always wanted to do the orgasm one, but my mom always came to see the play, so I always felt weird about doing that, but I think I would have been really, really good at it. Hang on, let's see what Addie's saying. What makes me upset is that this petty, useless reporting makes her more serious, writing's less impactful. I think that's so true, because she has done some really important stuff, and we will definitely talk about that. Thank you, everyone, for... Oh, shit! Dandelion Fuzz and Romance and Bloom. Romance and Bloom, should I tell you? It's like a pink. It's like a pink color. So I have a yellow or pink are tied, so I'm going to wait until we have a winner there for the nail color. All right, so... Most recently, she was at NBC News for 3 years. So that's really impressive. She's a legit journalist. Before that, she was at Business Insider. So she has real journalistic chops. She has real journalistic chops. Here is what she wrote about at NBC. Let's see if we got some of her stories here. She wrote about Elon Musk, Andrew Tate and his brother. There's a lot of that, and she continues to write about that. Yeah, a lot of internet news, social media news. Obviously, TikTok was a huge story, right, for a long time. Yada, yada, yada. Like internet culture, basically, social media stuff. But then in January of 2025, she got laid off. She was potentially part of, do I have it here? There were some layoffs in at NBC News. Let me see here if I have this. Oh yeah, here we go. It is her next tweet. Almost 2 weeks ago, I found out, so this was in January, early February 2025, she was one of 40 people laid off from NBC News, and this is when she started her independent journalism career, launching Spitfire News as a newsletter. And she says, we need journalism that is louder than ever. I agree. I agree to an extent, but I think we need to be clear on what we are loud about. Let me see what Alexa's saying here. What makes me, let's see, her malicious intent reporting to, like talking to a restrained person. I did see that. I watched a lot of your stream today. If there is a timestamp that you want me to share, let me know. Because I had a couple, but then I was like, I don't know enough about this. I don't want to misrepresent what you're talking about. So if there's a timestamp in your stream, Alexa, that you want me to share, I absolutely will. The emotional damage going from a hired writer to an independent writer. Yeah, I mean, I am a writer too, like in my professional life, not a journalist, but like a marketing writer, and I got laid off. It's a horrible feeling. It's so scary. And I can imagine it's even worse. Okay, we're going with pink. It must be even worse in journalism because journalism is so, I mean, it feels like it's a dying art, right? It's like a dying industry, which it shouldn't be. Like, we need, like Kat says, we need journalism more than ever. But yeah, that had to be really scary. And then making the leap into like working for yourself also has to be scary. So sad what happened to Michaela Raines. I feel terrible that she was bullied by these mean internet communities. 1,000,000%. Oh, have I checked? Hang on. Have I checked Holo Taco? I definitely have Holo Taco in here. You need to see my nail polish collection. Holo Taco's in here, Mooncat, and I just got a bunch of the little paparazzis from CVS to do my rainbow nails. So yeah, I love them. They're great, and they're much more affordable than Mooncat. Okay. This conversation is great for my ADHD. Freudian slip is like a, where did it go? It's like a muted purple. It's like a grayish purple a little bit. You can't, I mean, I guess that kind of looks similar to it. It's just kind of like a muted purple, like a muted lavender. Yeah, so I've gotten very into nail polish because I've been growing my nails. Okay. Please just know that this is how it's going to work. We're going to pop back and forth between serious shit and nail polish and other things as people come in and out. Oh my God, are you fucking serious? Alexa,
Alexa Nikolas gave $50. Alexa Nikolas rules.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. Holy shit, girl. That is crazy. Thank you. Thank you, Alexa. Okay. Get all the nail polish. Don't threaten me with a good time. I will start another macrame bin of nail polish, and my wife will kill me. Okay, so back to our actual topic. All right, so she became Kat became an independent journalist in February and launching Spitfire News, and it's just her. Like this is her newsletter. So it's a newsletter about internet, culture, politics, and media. So it does seem that she is moving more into a, like, an editorial opinion space, but it's a little bit muddy, and I think that can be a little irresponsible, to not make it a little more clear where she's coming from, because she has such a background in, like, high integrity fact checked journalism, and now to see the stuff that she's retweeting, putting in her article, that is, like, completely unfounded and sourced from just, like, straight up liars, it's weird. It's very strange, and I don't really know what to think about it. So yeah, that's, like, a huge bummer, because I was a fan of hers via H3 because of an article she wrote about David Dobrik and the essay scandals with him back in the day. It was wonderful. So yeah, so, like, it doesn't seem like she has some founding members, but it doesn't seem like she has anyone helping her. Like, oh shit, what happened? Like, fact checkers or anything. I think it's just her. And I mean, it's tough to afford people, you know, especially when you're working for yourself. But as a journalist, I don't know. Feels kind of weird. Hi, Din Young. Welcome. Didn't she also write the Jake Paul essay pieces? Maybe. Let's find out. Jake Paul, Kat Tenbarge. Nope, that's not her. It doesn't look like it, unless maybe this one is. Nope. No, that was wasn't that the New York Times? That was another. I think that was another woman. Who is this? Oh, it was Taylor. It was Taylor Lorenz, who is the other person in my thumbnail. Thank you for saying that, because yeah, this also applies. Taylor, because they're besties. It seems that they are besties. It seems like they are talking to each other. Oh shit. All right, so I am doing the pink, Romance in Bloom. All right, thank you everybody. And oh my god, Alexa, you're incredible. All right, so there is this is her site. So she talks, there's Ethan. She talks a lot about it's still, like, celebrity culture, internet culture, you know, things that interest her. Oh shit. Why does it say premium? Okay, it is going to let me read it, because I was like, I read it earlier. Why does it say premium? So she wrote an article about Ethan. We will get to that. I want to go back to her page and just look at a couple more things. So she has a post. This one. Are journalists the new micro-influencers? And here she is. Can y'all see this? Let me tell you something about Adam McIntyre. They always seem to be at the center of things that do not concern them and also making them worse, right? Like, they can somehow be on three sides of one issue, pissing everyone off. Like, that is just what I have seen, like, since Frenemies, essentially, right? Because Adam covered Frenemies very, very closely, and we're going to talk about Frenemies because, spoiler alert, this goes all the way back to Frenemies somehow. But yeah, I was surprised, but then I was like, oh, that kind of makes sense that they are at least work acquaintances, right? Like, collabing with each other to some degree, because lately they have been saying some pretty similar things, and I think Adam, in my opinion, has never fully recovered from the damage that Colleen did. Because she was a huge force for Adam at a formative age, And the way that they talked to each other, the way that Colleen talked to these kids, and, you know, all the sniping and making fun of and the mean girl stuff, I think on some level they still crave that. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's why they keep inserting themselves in things. So that's Adam. We're gonna come back. We're gonna come back to Adam. But let's look a little more closely at the H3 connection, because when I heard about Kat getting, you know, mired in this stuff about Ethan Klein with her article that she wrote that Taylor Lorenz retweeted, saying it was an excellent piece. We'll see about that. I was like, I feel like, which was the first one? I was like, I feel like I have heard of Kat before, and I feel like she was like friendly with the show, right? I didn't think there was this big problem. Like I thought that there was, you know, I thought she was a friend of the show essentially. So I was very, very surprised. He has never learned how to not be parasocial. I agree with that, Addie. It is just now his parasocial relationships are angry and negative. Adam tweeted purporting Kat got him his first red carpet, if this is relevant information. Listen, who knows? It could all be relevant. We have no idea where this is going. She was a friend of the show. Yes. She was a friend of the show. And that is why y'all are so nice. Thank you. So here are Ethan and Hila talking about and praising the article that Kat wrote about David Dobrik. Which was a really serious, horrible situation, if you're not familiar, where one of his friends took advantage of multiple girls on camera, essentially. Like, it was sort of off camera, but on camera, and it turned out that they were not of age to be drinking, but allegedly David and his friends had gotten them drunk. And then they passed out, and then this friend took advantage of them. So, Kat, another journalist, kind of blew this story up and made it a big thing, as they should have. That's the kind of journalism we need right now. Okay, so here they are. Just let me know if the audio is doubling. I've been trying to, like, troubleshoot. Let me know if the audio is weird or if it's too loud or too soft so I can correct for you folks.
We've got Kat, the author of the article, on call. So let's talk to her.
All right, give me 1 second. I'll bring her.
And let's.
Are we good? Does that sound good? If so, I'll run it back. Can we hear it? Is it doubling? Good. Okay, great. Then I can turn it up here. Why aren't we talking about the genocide going on right now? It's a bit weird to cover YouTube drama when you could use the platform to highlight a legitimately terrifying ethnic cleansing. You are so right. The genocide is fucking terrible. And I talk about it all the time on Instagram, where I have over 90,000 followers. Talk about it all the time. I'm actually raising money right now on Instagram for HEAL Palestine, HEAL. It's an organization that brings kids who have been injured in this horrible genocide, because I think Gaza has like the highest concentration of child amputees in the world, potentially in the history of conflicts. And it brings these kids to hospitals, I think only in the US, but potentially elsewhere, to have life-saving and life-changing surgeries, to get fitted for prosthetics, like prosthetic limbs. And they're also running a summer camp right now for the kids, which is awesome. And so their families get to come and just like go swimming and canoeing and going on zip lines and just having like childhood moments. I don't almost cry about it. So you're totally right to bring it up. You can check out my fundraiser on Instagram, at the girl with a microphone, same handle. That's okay. They can be here. It is so sad. It is horrible. It is horrible. And yes, I mean, I don't blindly support Ethan Klein because I'm not a lunatic. Like, I criticize him, but I am a fan. I've been a fan for a long, long time. He and Hila have been Israeli for a long, long time. and none of y'all had a problem with it. HILA did the IDF when she was like 18. And y'all have never said anything until now. Their opinions have not changed. They have been loudly critical of Israel. They both voted against Netanyahu when they lived there. This should be an ally. This should be someone that you guys see as an opportunity, not someone to like throw out with the bathwater. That's how I feel about it. You are entitled to your opinion, though. Okay, so here they are talking about Kat's awesome article on David Dobrik.
See if she has anything to add to the conversation. Just ask her some questions. I have some questions for her. She did a really good job on this.
She did a really good job on this, he says.
From a journalistic standpoint, I mean, well-sourced. Well-sourced. Well-researched.
I will tell you, her latest work about Ethan is not well-sourced or well-researched, for sure. An ally doesn't try to destroy small pro-Palestine creators. I don't think that that's what he's doing. And also, being pro-Palestine doesn't mean you can't make mistakes. It doesn't mean you can't be an asshole and a bad person. And that you shouldn't be held accountable for things that you do. It's not a shield to hide behind. Right? You can't just like do whatever you want because you are pro-Palestine. Again, Ethan should not be your main target when it comes to people that are making things worse for Gaza and Palestine as a whole. Like, hello. Go bully Trump and his blank check for Bibi right now.
Slam dunk.
Slam dunk case. All right, we're painting Romance in Bloom, which is pink.
All right, 1 second.
You get your medicine?
Letting her in the lobby.
You're still waiting? So do we need to go pick it up?
Okay, skip to the chase, y'all.
She's hear me?
Oh,
I just want to hear the beginning of it and just like...
First of all, well done on the article.
How friendly they are together.
Thank you so much. Thank you for reading it. I really appreciated hearing all of your thoughts going through it and going through all of like the receipts that the accusers provided, and your reaction to David's video response I thought was really spot on.
Am I going to be in trouble with Insider for pirating your premium members only article?
No, I mean, you know your fair use law really well, so.
Yeah, I think so too. Thank you.
I will say, I'm not showing this to say, oh, she was cool with him at one time, so she has to stay cool with him. No, I'm just showing the history of them being congenial with each other, because I'm confused about where things went left. It seems like a lot of people just stopped. They kind of just like shut off their goodwill for Ethan and HILA as soon as October 7th happened. And while I understand some of that, I don't understand completely getting rid of them having the benefit of the doubt that they're trying to do their best in a situation that is more complicated for them than it is for me, than it is for probably most of the snarkers and people who don't like them. Different people are experiencing this issue differently, right? Because we're all at different distances from it. So that's Kat.
So tell me, first of all, how did you get interested in writing this story? Because I didn't know. I mean, I've been pretty following all the Vlog Squad stuff, and I had no idea about these accusations. So how did it come across you?
Yeah, so honestly, after you guys started interviewing past Vlog Squad members, the Insider Digital Culture team, we started just kind of digging into the various people who had been a part of the Vlog Squad, and like we started talking to both like the former group members who had come forward to you guys, and then.
Okay, so that's Kat. Let me just answer a couple things that are happening here, and then I'll go back to it. HILA did serve in the IVF. She was 18 years old, and everybody in Israel serves their country as part of the IDF. That is a cultural thing. The good news is that this is becoming something that more and more young adults are finding the courage and the family support to become a conscientious objector and risk going to prison, because that's what happens if you don't serve. I think it's like 2 or 3 years in the IDF, but that can mean a number of things. So it's great that is becoming more of a thing. But I believe at the time when HILA was 18 years old, that was like what, 20 years ago, it was not something that you did lightly. You would be basically like an outcast from your family and your community. So no, I don't hold HILA accountable for when she was 18 years old, before her frontal lobe was completely developed, doing the thing that you're supposed to do when you turn 18. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, the benefit of the doubt has just gone out the window. She's talked about her IDF stuff for years and years, and no one has ever called her a baby killer until now. Like, anyway. Okay, so that's Kat. Her first interaction with H3. And then the second interaction is a complete 180, essentially. So that was 2021. She wrote an article about David Dobrik, and was, praised for it, had a great little interview at the end of an episode. And then in 2022, Ethan gives an apology for putting his foot in his mouth, as he does often. As a fan, we know this happens a lot, but we reserve the right to give him the benefit of the doubt, as we all do. I mean, y'all can act like you're perfect and that your faves are perfect, but everyone has someone that they give a lot of room to. And I've definitely done that with Ethan over the years, and I think that it's been worth it. Because in general, he does a lot of good. But sometimes he says some crazy shit to try to get a laugh. And honestly, I've certainly been there. Okay, so here is Ethan talking about this issue. Is this the right timestamp? Yes. So before we get into that, I'll contextualize it a little, because I don't want to give like a ton of backstory for this stuff. So Ethan made a stupid joke about James Charles. I think because James Charles is a predator, right? He's been caught multiple times talking to underage boys on Snapchat. I think Ethan felt like it was okay to joke about literally anything about him, including his sexuality. I am a lesbian. I have been my whole life. And that one didn't bother me, but what followed definitely did. And I was definitely someone who was in the Reddit community being like, yo, Ethan needs to walk this back. What followed was, in the same episode, a queer listener called in to call Ethan in to tell him why making jokes about James Charles being a bottom was homophobic, insensitive, in poor taste. And Ethan, who admittedly has a hard time admitting he is wrong at first, but unlike some people like Hassan, he actually does admit he's wrong and apologizes. He didn't double down, but he started trying to make uncomfortable jokes with this caller and was like, oh, are you a bottom? And kind of being pushy about it in a way that was like off the rails and should not have happened. And I am very glad that he ended up at the beginning of this episode making a nice heartfelt apology, saying that he talked to queer people he trusted and got more information from them about it. And he also, at the same time, called out the fact that people were being kind of fucking weird about this moment. And it didn't really make sense. Like, the level of response that he got from Kat Tenbarge, felt a little strange to him. So let's this is like the genesis of a lot of things, and we'll talk about that.
The other stuff, I don't even know.
One thing that I didn't appreciate that a lot.
First of all, I gotta say, this is my favorite Ethan look era. He just looks so cozy and sweet.
People were saying about me is like, the only reason you felt comfortable asking him if he's a top or bottom is because he's gay. That's fucking bullshit. I ask everybody uncomfortable questions,
and that was
always.
That was the point that I articulated very poorly, I admit, but that this is what you get with Ethan, man.
Yeah.
Like he pushes boundaries and he pushes buttons, and it's not targeted.
Yeah, that was one of the top comments on that video too. Ethan is indiscriminate in who he pushes.
Oh, okay, that's good.
And
He literally is. Like, everybody gets that work from Ethan. Like, anybody he has on, he kind of makes them squirm a little bit, right? And I don't know. Maybe it's because I've been a fan a long time. Maybe it's because I'm a millennial like him. Like, I'm not super offended with his jokes that I feel the need to, like, stone him in the town square. Especially when he does apologize for things. When you're live so many hours a day, I mean, I feel like you're bound to say some shit you don't mean. Oh, we got a new subscriber. Speaking of millennial, if you notice, my sounds are AIM sounds. Are people being mean? Are people being mean? Yes, he's anyone can get that work from Ethan, essentially. Yay! Okay, yeah, so it's like throwback.
you can
All
think that that's rude and over the line, and you might even be
Yes.
right.
But you can't- dude,
don't think that it was targeted.
You cannot draw the conclusion from one thing that, like, oh, well, I'm just targeting this man because he's gay.
Meanwhile, like, he's totally right, because then you look at someone like Hunger FF that Ethan has had on multiple times. He has never, I'm not going to explain what Hunger FF does, but one of the F's stands for fist. He is, like, so respectful of Hunger's work. He also, of course, it is a shocking thing if you're not part of that community, right? But he has been, I admit, because Ethan always pushes people, I was nervous for Hunger to be treated like a joke. But he never was. Ethan always talked about how he admired his art and his dedication, and he helped Hunger raise money for a surgery he needed that directly impacts his work. And also like Uncle Gabe, when we see him on Bobby Lee's show, Bobby Lee was like slapping him and treating him like shit, and Ethan didn't. You know what I mean? Like, Ethan became his true friend. Like, I just wish more of the snarkers would admit that they see it too, because I know they're watching the show even harder than I am, right? And I watch almost every episode the day it comes out. So yeah, like, you can't, I'm not going to say that I speak for all gay people, and if this joke that he made was too much for you, that's fine. But as a gay person, I know when someone fucking hates me. Ethan doesn't hate me. You know? Ethan doesn't fucking hate me.
That's fucking bullshit. Okay? Anyone who watched this show, as that comment well stated, says that I'm indiscriminate with my inappropriate questions.
Yes.
That's how I
true.
fucking talk to people on this show.
And
I find it
snarkers know
interesting
that.
to
That's
make
what I'm
people
saying. Like, snarkers know. Snarkers know that that's true. And that's what
Squirm
makes
a little.
me, sorry. That's what makes me so mad about the snark culture, is that they all know they're lying. It's like a consensual mass delusion, right? All right, let me skip to where Kat's, oh, here it is. Okay.
Top, bottom stuff, whatever. A joke in poor taste. Genuinely, I would like to hear what Kat describes at
Wait. We missed it.
right
We
now.
missed it.
Fuck?
Can you please just...
God damn it. All right, while this ad runs. Busier stream than normal. Hi, Victoria. Yeah, I have a theory for why they hate watch, and I will talk about it after we get caught up on things here. Snarkers are a community whose sole existence is to obsess over and try to ruin Ethan Klein's life. I don't know, this just popped up on my feed. I don't watch H3. Well, welcome. We're just talking about drama, and that's fun for everyone. I remember when all the makeup, like the YouTuber stuff came out. I had no idea what the fuck was going on, but I was living for all that Tati James Charles shit. All right, let's see.
You know, I accept that was over the line. The other stuff,
where is the fucking
I don't even know.
tweet?
Indiscriminate in who he pushes.
Oh, okay,
Exactly.
that's Lash, we get. And I understand, because, like,
Sorry, y'all, let me-
I'm
let me-
sorry, but
let
me
me
and Dan both know we're not homophobic, okay? And I just refused that title. I do, outright, for both
This
of
is
us. It's just not the
it.
case. Go ahead, Dan, if you want to say anything.
Sorry, guys. I don't know
Oh,
where. I don't know
I mean,
why the timestamp didn't work.
overreacting and telling people to fuck off. You know, I accept that was over the line. The other stuff.
Okay, here it is.
But uncontested.
Yeah.
All right,
And I'm sorry to do this,
here we go.
but this was the, like, colossal bad take of colossal bad takes, in my
Colossal
opinion.
bad take.
Now, this is Kat Tenbarge, who I don't have a problem with her, you know. She wrote the article about David Dobrik in the Insider. You know, she seems to be a good reporter in that regard, and I really have no problem with her. And I just don't understand how someone could actually think this.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw this echoed by a lot of people. Adam McIntyre, you know,
There he
friend of the
is.
show, said, newest H3 podcast has so many homophobic undertones. Okay.
There he is. Every time. Every time something is popping off on the internet, Adam is finding a way to make it about Adam. Right? I mean, get your bag. Get your bag, girl. But I don't know. That would feel really gross if that was like my whole thing. Is just like jumping into things I don't really know about. I say this as I'm doing a stream about this. But I don't have anyone else to talk to about H3 shit. And the rabbit hole I went into today was very interesting. So that's why I'm here. But he does it all the time and he's very toxic. We're not the same. No, I'm just coping.
That's fine. Right? So, okay.
Speak of
you
the
know,
devil, yeah,
that's
right
a
on
fair
time.
statement. But then Kat goes, to purposefully and knowingly recruit a queer and gay fan base. So, first of all, what the fuck does that even mean?
To me, what that means, and maybe Kat clarified it somewhere, I feel like she's talking about the fact that Ethan did Frenemies. Because this is around the time of when Frenemies was happening, and there is a very interesting timeline. But that's what I think. That's what I think she means. That for some reason Ethan, like, his motivation was to court a queer audience, which I don't really understand why she thinks that. But this is what I'm talking about. Like, the benefit of the doubt is gone. The benefit of the doubt is gone, and so everything that Ethan does is now, for some reason, seen through a very cynical lens. And that is just like so snarker brained, right? You just stop giving people the benefit of the doubt, and you think everything they did is for some evil, cruel reason. No, he's not anti-Palestinian, and he's not anti-Palestine. But I'm not surprised that you've heard that.
Like, what do you mean? I'm purposely and knowingly recruiting a queer. What am I what am I handing out flyers? Am I targeting ads to gay people? What the fuck are you talking about? That is just so insulting to me. Like, what the fuck? What have I ever known?
I don't,
Need the heel.
shit, no.
One not.
Okay, hang on. That's really all I wanted to show anyway. He's got like a really great F-bomb. I think it might have been that mic at the time, but that episode had really good. What the fuck? They were so good. All right, so yeah, so she says this crazy tweet. She puts out this crazy tweet accusing Ethan of being horrifically homophobic. And it's just like so hyperbolic and over the top. And it doesn't make sense that all of a sudden, girl, U-Block Origin would be your BFF. I don't know who that is. I don't know if that's an insult or a compliment. Yes, we're going to talk, Anthony, we're going to talk about the article. All right, so here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. So we have one video where Kat is like, "Oh my God, thank you so much. I'm so glad you read the article and liked it, and I really appreciate that." Let me move this down. "I really appreciate it, blah, blah, blah," right? Totally normal, cordial relationship, right? Like cordial interview. And then we have her tweeting that Ethan is horrifically homophobic, that he is like cynically calculated in like manipulating an audience, specifically an audience of queer people and women. So what the fuck happened? I'll tell you what happened. Kat's original interview with H3 about David Dobrik and her article that she wrote, great article, was on March 17th, 2021. Kat's insane tweet about Ethan's homophobic joke, but where she was just taking it way too far, making tons of assumptions about his motivations, that was April 13th, 2022. So about a year apart. What happened? What do you think happened between March 2021 and April 2022? I'll wait. Try to guess. What do you think happened?
Two.
Frenemies ended. Here is the final episode of Frenemies.
Hey, it's Frenemies, we're back.
The final episode of Frenemies was June 8th, 2021. 3 months after Kat went on H3, Frenemies ended and everything imploded. Trisha's fan base went radioactive. And this is really when the snark subreddits took off. HILA has said this multiple times, that it goes all the way back to Trisha and Frenemies. And she, based on this, I think that she is 100% right. Because for some reason, after having seemingly no interactions with Ethan besides the interview in the spring of 2021, by the spring of 2022, she thought he was like a demonic, manipulative megalomaniac. It's like she had like a new brain chip put in. And the biggest thing that happened in that time period was the schism of Frenemies. She has written about Trisha. She is friendly with Adam McIntyre, who is tied to Trisha. So to me, that tweet about horrific homophobia that she posted, about Ethan being, courting an audience just to shit all over them and it being horrific and terrible, that was like proto-snark. That was like one of the first times that snark messaging and snark talking points leaked out into the public eye. And I think in like the year that went by between Frenemies ending and her posting that, I genuinely think she got so brainwashed by snark that she didn't think that was a weird thing to say at all. But trust and believe, it absolutely was. I don't understand how Trisha ever got past that. That John Benet Ramsey role play. Listen, Trisha is, I don't want to say she's a cockroach, because that's, and I don't mean it like that, but it's like cockroaches and Twinkies, the things that will be here forever and ever. Like, I'm learning about the internet. What I'm learning about the internet is people may try to cancel you, but you kind of have the option to just not let them. I'm starting to see that happening more and more, where people are just like, no, I disagree. Or just completely ignoring that they're being canceled, and they just move on with their life and do something else. So, yeah, to me, in my opinion, Kat was a Trisha fan, potentially a Frenemies fan. And when the whole thing with Trisha blew up, and she was maligning Ethan and saying horrific things about him online, saying that he sexually harassed her, which is now what Taylor Lorenz is saying about him. It's like a formula. It's like this crazy fucking formula that seems to root back to Trisha. Teflon Trisha, for real. I've never heard of these people. Just buckle up. There's so much stuff. Anthony says, the breakup of frenemies made me hate Trisha, but not enough to harass her or attack her. Same! And I mean, that you can really, the Trisha stuff, you could really see the true colors of certain people, of snarkers, when you look at Adam McIntyre, right? He was, in the Trisha hate brigade for a long time. And then all of a sudden, he flipped the switch when it was more lucrative and popular to hate on Ethan. Like, I've said it before, there's no honor amongst thieves. Like, these people just want to get their bag, and they'll do it by any means necessary. The Snark Reddit subreddit started as a frenemy subreddit. Absolutely. Yep, it all goes back to Snark. All right, I have to refill my water. I will be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay, we are back. It is hot as shit here, but I'm happy. I'm not schwitzing too much. Okay, so before our little break, during which I totally effed up my nails, but that's okay. I'll figure it out. We got to the point where it seemed like, in my opinion, that Kat has been tied in several ways to the snarker community, whether it's tangential or otherwise, since the very beginning. Within a year of Frenemies ending, she was already just spraying Ethan online with really, really horrible accusations about him being homophobic, him intentionally, like, seducing a queer audience just to shit on them, which is a direct snark talking point from the beginning. Oh, Ethan just loves having this audience that he like manipulated into sticking around, and he just wanted him for the money because he's a Jew. Like that is the vibe that I get. So yeah, like I said, this feels like that tweet of Kat's really feels like it was the first time snark kind of breached the boundaries of Reddit, like breached the borders, and caught Ethan's attention without him knowing that it came from snark, and also made its way on the internet. Okay. Next, the Adam McIntyre piece, because he is like the Kevin Bacon of internet drama. You can always find a connection between Adam and something that's going on, and it's not 6 degrees. It's much fewer than that. Family in the chat. Seeing Adam in that still on Kat's new website, where she talked about journalists being micro-influencers, I was like, how is Adam involved in this? So then I just Googled Adam Kat Tenbarge, and what came up is Alexa Nikolas's stream called The Truth About Kat Tenbarge. Like, I had to go through a couple levels of trying to figure out what was going on. And Alexa is in the chat tonight, everybody. I don't know how you found my video, but hey, girl, hey. And thank you for the super chat. Oh, shit. Now Dandelion Fuzz is winning. I already went with the pink. Anyway. So, yeah. Welcome, Alexa. Love you. And I'm so sorry about all of this. I mean, you can... I think I linked her video, her full stream, in the chat. Let me subscribe to you right now. Subscribe. Linked her video, this video, The Truth About Kat Tenbarge, in chat. It's very emotional. It was very emotional to watch. I watched... Hey, Alexa! Oh my gosh.
Alexa Nikolas gave $50. Alexa Nikolas rules. Thank you for being kind.
Oh, Alexa. I'm trying to be kind. I want to try to be kind to everyone. That's what I'm doing. All right. So like I said, the rabbit hole led me to Kat's video. I will just play like a little bit of it. And like I said, Alexa, at the beginning, did I say Kat's video? Alexa's video. If I get anything wrong, if I leave anything out that's important, please correct it. Alexa is in the chat, and y'all can... She will keep me honest, okay? So this is Alexa. She is an essay survivor, an activist, and also a child star from the Nickelodeon show Zoe 101 and other things. She has accused Jonah Hill of forcing himself on her when she was only 16. Gag. I vaguely remember that story when it came out. So shout out to you for the bravery of doing that. Like, holy shit. And we've since learned, on top of that he's a piece of shit to, like, every woman and girl child. He's, like, very controlling and gross. So I believed it before, and I believe it double now. You might see my cats while we're here. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. All right, so Alexa runs the Eat Predators YouTube show, and yeah, some shit went down between her and Kat that I thought was interesting and pertinent, because it's of the same approach, the same culture as that ugly tweet about Ethan that was just, like, completely unfounded. So here is Alexa talking a little bit about it. And Alexa, you were so passionate and wonderful. I am going to watch this on like 1.5, which is great because your voice is like so lovely and it holds up at 1.5. So we're just going to speed it up just a little bit.
I really loved advocating for survivors. I really loved it. You'll never know how much I loved it. And how much work I put into it. No, actually, Kat knows. I take that back.
Kat, as in Kat Tenbarge.
Kat knows exactly how much fucking work I put into it. And slowly I started to realize that what I wasn't fully aware of was the roots of abuse. I was so focused on predatory behavior that maybe I didn't want to look at the roots as a survivor. Maybe for my own healing journey, I wasn't ready to look at that. And then I learned quickly that the roots are there. That predatory behavior comes from somewhere. And that was a lot to process for me personally, that it comes from somewhere. And maybe I do need to look at that.
Now, when I hear that, and based on what I've watched in the rest of this, first of all, I'm sorry I made you cry. I did not mean to do that. But I just thought this was a powerful moment, where I really commend Alexa's ability to hold multiple truths at the same time, which I think is lacking so much in a lot of internet spaces, and I think specifically in spaces where emotions are really high. Thinking about discussions about the genocide in Gaza, right? Thinking about discussions about surviving SA, right? Emotions are really high, and it's hard. It's so hard to hold multiple truths at the same time, especially those that almost feel like a betrayal, right? So I don't know if I'm getting this right, but to me this means that these roots of abuse can even exist in a community of survivors. And maybe those roots were actually planted by the abuse. Am I getting it? Am I getting it right? Okay. Because essentially what it's a very deep, this is a very deep story. And like I said, if you are interested in hearing more from Alexa, please go, first of all, subscribe to her, watch this video, watch her podcasts. But let me just try to summarize. And like I said, Alexa, please correct me. What I can gather, as someone who has just scratched the surface today. Oh my gosh, Alexa. Thank you.
Alexa Nikolas gave $20. Alexa Nikolas rules. You got it.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Okay, this is what I can gather. Keep me honest. So this appears to be a conflict between two survivors. It sounds like Kat has also expressed that she is a survivor, as far as I know. And the conflict, the central conflict, seems to be the appropriate, the acceptable way to interact with a survivor who has also become an abuser himself. As far as I can tell, this was about the Drake Bell situation, and the fact that when Quiet on the Set came out, which was about like the horrific child abuse that was happening on Nickelodeon sets, that Drake Bell, who had been recently it had been found out that he had been abusing people. It turns out that he had been a victim himself at the hands of adults in charge at Nickelodeon. So this conflict of fuck him, he's an abuser. He should not be given any sort of empathy or sympathy or understanding, versus, yes, but he's also a victim, and this is more complicated than it seems, and the feelings around it are complicated. That conflict seems to be what's playing out between Alexa, who showed more understanding for the fact that he was abused and groomed and became an abuser because of that, and wanting to talk about that, versus the other side, which appears to be the side that Kat is repping, which is that he should not be allowed to be discussed with any sort of empathy. So this discussion, which is very, very important, because it is something, I think, especially with male victims, that isn't happening enough. But the fact that it's playing out in the public eye, it's just causing, it seems to have caused Alexa and Kat to just be constantly triggering each other. And I don't mean that in like a sarcastic way. I mean literally, it's like re-traumatizing them. And then it's also re-traumatizing victims of abuse who listen to them and talk to them, right? It's like this ripple effect going out from this, where it could have been like just a smaller conversation if we weren't existing in this world of the internet, right? That being said, it is a very important conversation to have publicly, and I think both sides have some validity, but it's when it goes past a discussion and just becomes abusive, using abusive language, abusing your position as a journalist, which seems to have happened to some degree, in my opinion. When you're using sort of underhanded tactics to get more people to agree with you, to intimidate someone who disagrees with you, that's when it gets like snarker brained, and that's where I check out of having understanding and empathy for a survivor. And we sort of touched on this a little while ago about the fact that these online communities where the emotions are high, I imagine these communities where the emotions are high, this happens a lot because everyone is at different stages of healing, right? And they handle things differently based on the way they were socialized, the way they were abused themselves. So it's like everybody's constantly triggering each other, and everyone's trying to be like the best survivor, right? And I don't think that this is happening just in survivor groups. I think that this mentality, because there are so many people who have been victimized, re-victimized, right? I think that they're everywhere in these snark groups. I think that something about these snark groups attracts people who maybe feel powerless because of what happened to them, because of what's happening in the world. And they're drawn to these groups because there's a way to work out this unhealed anger and aggression at very valid things. And I think, oddly enough, Taylor Lorenz, who I think is, I mean, she seems very unhealed to me. And I'm not saying that in like a, oh my God, like she needs help, the way she says it about Ethan. Like, I think that she has a lot of trauma from what I've seen of the way she interacts and the way she engages with people. What's interesting is something she said trying to like slam Ethan made a lot of sense in the opposite direction. And it's that online snarker communities, according to her research, which she is a journalist as well, and I actually trust this, online snarker communities are Let me go. Oh wait, there's another thing. Here it is. Here we go. Online snarker communities are majority women and girls. And to that end, I think that it is true that they are full of people with sexual trauma and also other like abuse trauma and things like that in their past. Because if we look at women and girls and sexual violence, 1 out of every 6 American women has been the victim of an attempted or completed R word in her lifetime. So we have so many unhealed people running around trying to work out their anger, work out their feelings about stuff, right? And they're finding community in online support groups, in online fan groups. But when people get triggered, then it's like the coping mechanisms or lack thereof are sort of laid bare. And then it's just everyone is in trauma response mode. And it's like I need to make myself safe no matter what. It doesn't matter if I'm lying. It doesn't matter what I'm doing or how I sound or how ugly this is. I need to make myself feel safe. And I'm going to do that this way, and you can't tell me anything, because if you do, then you're a piece of shit. You're dismissing the opinion of a journalist based on your essay speculation better. No, I'm talking about snark communities in general. Activated. Alexa, I like that term. Yeah, it's like a switch flips. I mean, I have also been traumatized. I was in a very abusive relationship. I do think Taylor has unhealed trauma. I don't know if that's true, but in my opinion, when I see the way that she reacts and the way she is dishonest with people, I wonder what the motivation is. And also, she has done incredible journalism. I think hurt people tend to fall into hardcore extremist communities to cope. I absolutely agree with that. I agree, Alexa. I have unhealed trauma too. It's not derogatory. And that's not how I meant it. I'm not saying this to insult people. I'm saying it because I'm trying to understand it. But I also know that people who are people who subscribe to more of the campism or tribalism, where it doesn't matter what someone says, they're wrong if they don't disagree with me or if they don't agree with me. I know that they're going to say things about me. And they're going to say what this person says. She's been dishonest. Yeah, the last 2 things that I saw, one of them was directly to me. I messaged her. Here, I'll go big. I messaged Taylor, and I've done a video about this, so I don't want to dwell on it. But I messaged her earlier this year, I think, when all the snarker stuff was really blowing up, and I was like, wow, Taylor Lorenz would be the perfect person to write about this, because it's like right in her sweet spot. She knows so much about internet culture already, like, and it could be not just about like the H3 snark, which I know most about. It can be about the Trisha snark, which actually got taken down. It can be about the snark subreddits of people who have ended up harming themselves or taking their own lives because of the harassment. Like, this could be like this big expose about Reddit, and maybe get things to clean up over there, right? So I messaged her and I was like, have you heard about this? And because I have a lot of followers on Instagram, she saw it and responded. And we had actually talked like a few months before, because I reached out to congratulate her about her article, or her interview and article about libs of TikTok and the nightmare woman that runs that. And I loved her interview. And so I reached out and I congratulated her, and we had like a little friendly chat. So then a few months later, I felt comfortable being like, yo, this story is huge. And I'm not a journalist, but I think that there's a lot here that you could dig into. And she responded with all of the snarker talking points about Ethan is spreading Zionist propaganda and silencing pro-Palestinian voices, which meant being critical of Hassan and not just letting his orbiters be anti-Semitic to him and say whatever they wanted about him on the internet. Like, meanwhile, there are dozens of other, hundreds of other pro-Palestinian content creators who Ethan has literally never talked about or maligned. But anyway, she did all that, and then I was like, oh, okay, so I see where you're getting your information from. And it got to the point where, for some reason, I don't remember what the full conversation was, but she was like, I know Ethan didn't mean to kill his dog. And I was like, holy shit, do you really think he killed his dog? I was like, he didn't kill his dog. And she was just like, right, sure. So that was one lie that she ran with. And another lie was about another one of his dogs and about his kids crawling around in dog feces, which was another piece of information that came straight from the anti-Ethan, super toxic, bad empanada corner of the internet. So 2 dog lies. 2 dog lies, and that's just within a couple months of each other. There's also this weird thing where she apparently never tells like her age. Like, she gives different ages to people. And then there's something going on with the Washington Post where she says that she left of her own accord, and then the Washington Post apparently says that she was fired. I haven't dug enough into that one, but she, at this point, uses her public platform to say some shit that she has not vetted, and she's a journalist. And I have one personal example that she said to me. What if I had believed her? What if I had been like, oh my God, Taylor Lorenz, the journalist, just told me Ethan Klein killed his dog. That's huge. He should be in jail for that. Do you know what I mean? Because I trusted her. At that point, I trusted her, but I knew that that was wrong. That sounds like a lot of speculation, in my opinion. Which part? Ah, yes, that's number 3. She was pretending that the Taylor Lorenz 3.0 Instagram account wasn't her. And then in DMs with Ethan, she said, oh, I'm sorry I posted 1 negative content about you on my meme page. So she kind of fucked that up. Because in multiple locations, I saw her saying, it's not me. That's not me. Yeah, I don't know what the speculation is. Yeah, RIP to all the babies we lost along the way. I lost my cat last year. It's horrible. And that's why I couldn't believe they went there. Okay. So, I guess my question from this, before we read the article that she wrote about Ethan, I hope that this has helped sort of stage the background of this to some degree. Of course, I'm new to this, so I'm sure that I've missed things. But my questions as I was reading through this and watching all of these things and seeing where Kat kind of plugged herself in. Did Kat weaponize her position as a journalist to bully and harass Alexa because she wanted to put her in her place about the way she supported or spoke about Drake Bell? Like, did she use her position of privilege as a journalist to try to intimidate Alexa for feeling differently about the way we should treat complex survivors or abusers who were also abused? I don't know what the term would be. My video is coming out soon about this with all evidence. Yes, it was malicious. Okay, that's Alexa's opinion. I've just met Alexa today. Love you, girl. And your video genuinely moved me. Thank you, Bubblegum. Thank you so much. No memory before 4. Oh my God, that was insane. People don't make memories before 4. Girl, I said on her Instagram, I was like, hey, you need to read The Body Keeps the Score, bitch. I didn't say bitch, but it was like, bitch, you know? So yeah, that was the question that I got. When I read the questions, the email that that Kat sent Alexa, it definitely felt like legally vetted, professional bullying. That's what it felt like to me. Like she was pushing on these questions that sort of went to a lack of character or integrity in Alexa, asking what credentials she had to speak about survivors or to work with survivors. Just like kind of poisoning the well to write an article that, as far as I know, never came out. Right, Alexa? Please do not get into bed with Alexa Nikolas. She doxed Drake Bell's victim. I don't know anything about that shit. No fucking way. Did he win? Did he fucking win? Are you serious? No fucking way. Oh my God, did he really fucking do it? Oh my God! Former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo conceded to Zohran Mamdani after the progressive state lawmaker emerged as the early leader in 11-candidate field of Democratic mayoral contenders. The official winner of the primary won't be known until next week at the earliest, as vote counting moves to ranked choice tabulation. Holy shit! Holy shit! Hi, Kat! I'm about to read your article about Ethan Klein. This is wonderful news. This is something we can all celebrate together. This is something we can all celebrate together. Presumably this chat is anti-harassment. Let's celebrate that. Hell fucking yeah. We don't want to be harassing anyone. I am just contextualizing your article that I am about to read. I don't know if you're going to love my take on it, but I think that we can be adults. Okay, so let's talk about the article. Let's read it. I'm going to be doing essentially a blind reading of it because I haven't read it yet. I spent the day doing more research on like the back end of things. Thank you for using this picture of me in the thumbnail. I'm touched. It's a nice picture. That's the thing. Like, I see people who talk. Oh shit! What's going on with my lights? I see people who criticize people using like gross, ugly pictures of people, and I just think that's stupid. I think that's mean-spirited. I'm not here to be mean-spirited, but I think that we can disagree with each other on shit. Because I'm not snark-brained. I am not snark-brained. Okay, so let us read the article. Yes, Victoria, if people start being weird, please kick them out. Okay. Oh my God, Kat, it's like I conjured you. It's like I conjured you and now you're here. Okay. Ethan Klein's War on Women. If you don't know who Ethan Klein is, I'm sorry to be the one to tell you. Okay, so right away, I will, let me just contextualize this. I am a writer as well. So I am not just coming at this as a fan of Ethan Klein, which I am, unabashedly. I'm not going to qualify that. Love the H3 show. I've been a fan for a long, long time, and I'm just a fan. I also know that he fucks up sometimes, as is true with every human. So right off the bat, we know that this is not going to be objective journalism, right? We know that Kat has a very strong opinion about Ethan, right? Klein is the primary host. Can y'all see? Okay, great. Klein is the primary host of the extremely popular H3 podcast, which is one of the most watched podcasts on YouTube every week. Over the past few years, as he has engaged in a never-ending, largely one-sided feud with his former co-host Hassan Piker. See that? Okay, let's talk about that. Hassan, in my opinion, is a fan of internet wars by proxy. Hassan is very smart, although I think he says some really stupid shit. Smart in the way that he is calculated and strategic about what he actually puts his foot into and what he puts his fingerprints on. I think Hassan is very good at maintaining plausible deniability about a lot of dirty shit that he co-signs behind closed doors, in my opinion. Because literally everyone who is considered an orbiter of his says the same shit, and he retweets it. He retweets lies. He retweets just outright fallacies about people, exaggerations, and all kinds of other shit. So to me, he is like in the background, quietly co-signing, quietly supporting smaller streamers doing his dirty work for him. Ethan Klein just does his dirty work himself. He doesn't need anybody else to say shit. He'll just do it himself. Kat is like Beetlejuice. Hey, girl. Okay, so yeah, largely one-sided. Yeah, that's the thing. I think that Hassan has won if you believe that this feud is one-sided. But there is a culture that Hassan fosters of quietly and passively antagonizing until people retaliate. And then being like, wow, that was crazy, you know? Which is shockingly, something abusers do. That's something abusers do. Okay, the leftist, okay, this is great. Co-host Hassan Piker, the leftist Twitch streamer who has been profiled in the New York Times. And this article was originally titled, what was it? A progressive mind in a MAGA body. And now it's a progressive mind in a body built for the manosphere. It's such a disgusting puff piece. It's such a glaze. It doesn't even... To link to that as evidence that Hassan is doing good work when it's literally just the journalist like sucking him off the whole time and not asking him any serious questions. Like, it's a puff piece. It's a puff piece. And he has a really good PR team that got him into the New York Times. Kat, you know how that works. You know how PR teams work. That's what they do. It's pay for play. That's saying something because, okay, Klein has also become more hated than ever before. For no reason, right? That's saying something because Klein used to happily throw the N-word around. Let me guess what this is. Is this the 7? An old compilation of deleted H3 podcast footage repeating the N-word and F-word. Kat, you just proved my point. Thank you so much. You know how I said I think that Kat has been a snarker from the beginning? Since Frenemies ended? If you're citing a source and it is faux moi, girly pop. If you don't know about faux moi used to be a pretty normal, cool celebrity gossip subreddit that I personally loved. And then one day, after October 7th, suddenly it became flooded with news about Ethan and HILA Klein. And everybody was like, who the fuck are these people? Like, I was so confused to be seeing this content in faux moi. It's like, what the hell is going on? Turns out, faux moi was essentially commandeered by snarkers who came from Trisha's audience, who hated Ethan, who created snarks, and then spread out and became moderators of vulnerable subreddits. And faux moi is one of them. And for the last year, they have been putting out just absolute bullshit nonsense about Ethan and HILA. So, like, I really did not expect you to just, like, give me the slam dunk immediately. But the back-to-back of linking the Hassan Piker article and then faux moi as your sources? Girl, what are we doing? But since October 7th, Klein has repeatedly escalated allegations of anti-Semitism against Piker for his outspoken stance against Israel and in support of Palestinians. That's literally not why. Because guess what? Ethan Klein, since before October 7th, has been outspoken against Israel and in support of Palestinians. The problem that Ethan has had is with Piker's support of, celebration of terrorist factions who tend to have a pretty negative opinion about Jews. Not Israelis, about Jews. Jewish people anywhere. That has always been Ethan's sticking point. He agrees with Hassan on just about everything having to do with Israel and Palestine, except the bootlicking of terrorists who are just getting more civilians killed, in my opinion. Klein is Jewish and has lived in Israel, which, by the way, snarkers have known for however long they were fans before they became Fallen fans, and it was never a problem. While Piker is Turkish American and was raised Muslim. Klein's obsession with attacking Piker and anyone who agrees with or is associated with Piker has made Klein the repeated subject of viral content, dragging him to hell and back. Let me guess where you got all of this viral content. Yeah, this is not journalism. This is just slop with peace and love. Viral tweets about Ethan Klein from the past year. That's all dumb. This shit is crazy. I'm begging you, please put the phone down. Stop pretending everyone is targeting you. People are dying. You're sitting in your mansion while your night nurse and day nanny take care of your kids. That shit is again, proto-snark. Like, Trisha used to be critical of Ethan and HILA having nannies. Like, that shit is deep. And at the same time, like, this is reminding me of the fact that anytime I say something anti-Trump on the internet, a bunch of Trumpers call me fat. Like, I don't know that I'm fucking fat. Meanwhile, the dude they support is, like, way fatter than I am. And they're, like, in love with him. So, like, how are you going to criticize Ethan when Hassan is also a millionaire in his mansion? Like, it doesn't, like, you're not, the argument falls short. It doesn't curl all the way over, as they say. And as far as the gaslighting of stop pretending everyone is targeting you, it's gaslighting. Ethan has been antagonized. People have said horrific shit about HILA. They've brought his kids into it. Literally through CPS. And the thing is, I know you're lying. I know you're lying. At least some of you know that you are lying. And that you are harassing Ethan and pushing for a reaction. I know you know it. And then you do this weird moral high ground shit of get help. You need help. Please, someone help Ethan. I care so much about him. But then in the same breath, you're like, your kids are crawling around in fucking feces, you dirty ass person. I won't say the J word in that context because I feel like that might be a problem for the internet. Okay. This week, Klein continued to be so mad at Piker for being anti-Israel that he decided to sue 3 women about it. Yes, just 3 innocent women who hadn't done anything, who weren't the absolute center of the harassment campaign against Ethan on behalf of Hassan, right? Plausible deniability. Hassan's sitting in the background, retweeting stuff they said, watching their videos on stream, but letting them take all the heat. He filed lengthy, typo-ridden lawsuits. Girl, if I find a typo in this, typos happen. Typos happen, and you know typos happen. I also think that's like, anyway, I won't get into that. For copyright infringement against female Twitch streamers who reacted to a nearly 2-hour video Klein made about Piker in January, which he has since revealed was a trap to try and sue Piker for streaming the copyrighted content on his channel. Kat, this is a lie. Is your full name Catherine? My full name's Catherine. If your full name's Catherine or Kathleen, whatever your full name is, pretend I'm using it right now. That is a lie, and you should know it, because as a journalist, I would assume that you like researched, maybe by watching the video, and maybe watching Ethan's extended explanation about the video. He wasn't setting a trap for Hassan. He asked Hassan to watch the video. And by doing so, he essentially gave him license to use the video however he wanted. It was never about suing Hassan. It was about suing the people who maliciously and with intent tried to siphon views from the original content, because that is not fair use. Piker didn't do it, but these women did, so Klein sued them instead. Again, just an extension of the lie. It was not, yeah, I'm going to set this trap and Hassan's going to fall into it. Oh, rats, he didn't fall into it. I'm just going to sue these other girls because they're girls and I hate girls. Like, this is what I'm talking about when I say that hatred just like removes benefit of the doubt. And it's not, and like goodwill. And it's not only in like a snarker situation or like a super intense situation like this. I've seen it happen in like my friends' marriages where they've been fighting so long and the trust has been broken. So when little things happen, it sets everybody off and they think the worst possible scenario has happened. They believe that the motivations weren't true. You know what I mean? Like, they just don't have that goodwill for each other, that benefit of the doubt anymore. So everything feels like this horrible attack. So yeah, lie. Klein's announcement of the lawsuits featured him literally setting money on fire. It was a fake $1 bill. And it was... That's the other thing. That's how I know you guys are lying. Because you pretend like you don't know what jokes are. I assume that in your personal lives, you laugh at things, right? Like, you have a good time, get some chuckles with your friends. Maybe you even tell a joke yourself. Like, to act like you don't understand jokes and framing them in a way that's supposed to outrage people is dishonest, Kat. That's dishonest. And you know that. And I know you know that because I have done this before. I have been in a situation where I have kind of misrepresented someone just to like farm outrage. I know I have. I can't remember a time I've done it, but I'm sure I have. I've been on the internet my entire fucking life. Where I took something that wasn't bad and I exaggerated to be like, wow, look at this fucking guy. I know what you're doing because we've all done it. Oh my God, he set a fake dollar bill on fire. Hey, thanks for the follow. The suits featured, now, why the fuck is this jumbling? I don't know. Anyway, the suits featured dozens of claims about Piker, including a paragraph comparing Piker to a prominent Palestinian who has been dead for 50 years, but collaborated with Adolf Hitler and other Nazis to oppose the establishment of Israel. Okay, whatever. I don't know what that's about. I have not read the full lawsuit. I think it's interesting. This is what I want to do. This is from Ethan Klein's lawsuit, which is supposed to be about copyright infringement. Hassan emerged as the modern incarnation of the Grand Mufti Hajj Amin al-Husseini. Like al-Husseini, Hassan became a passionate advocate and highly charismatic leader of the Palestinian cause. Like al-Husseini, Hassan used his massive platform to spread genocidal rhetoric about anyone advocating for the right of Jewish self-determination in their ancestral homeland, i.e. Zionists. The primary difference between Hassan and al-Husseini is that al-Husseini worked with the Nazis and advocated the annihilation of Jews, while Hassan advocates the annihilation of all Zionists. Since the vast majority of Jews in the United States say see, I wonder if you assumed that people wouldn't read this and they would just like agree with what you had to say. Since the vast majority of Jews in the United States say caring about Israel, and then it just cuts off. That's interesting. It was about to get to the part where it talks about how most modern Jews are considered Zionists to some degree. Meanwhile, Hassan said just, a couple weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago, that anyone with any positive feeling to any degree about Israel in a perfect world would essentially be complete outcasts, unable to even walk, be the dog catcher, right? I think the lawsuit is setting up the world in which all of this has happened. And again, there is no denying that Hassan is the reason for a lot of this, because all of these orbiters, these women that everyone's just reducing them to, all of them are fans of Hassan. They're mods of Hassan. They parrot his same talking points. They stream right before him. It's all connected. But Hassan doesn't want you to think it is. He wants you to think he is innocent. Okay. Oh my God, let me close that. I just want to fucking barf. Okay. The feud between Klein and Piker is so labyrinthian, good word, Kat, it would actually take hours to dissect it. But this most recent escalation troubled me on another level. Klein's lawsuits against these three women are so frivolous that even he doesn't think they'll make it to court. Oh, please, of course, it's not. Oh, I did want to do something. I want to see what else this person has to say. Let's see if they're a nice objective source. Well, we love that he likes Zoran. We love that. Okay, yeah, he's anti-Israel, but a lot of people are. Fuck Israel and what they're doing in Gaza. What is this? The person that she used retweeted this? The person she used as a source against Ethan retweeted the pro-peace ticket? I'm confused. Or maybe it's just like showing the hypocrisy. Ah, there it is. Hassan. Right. Great. Okay, so here we go. Even Ethan doesn't think that these lawsuits will make it to court. Again, you're lying. You're lying. You're misrepresenting things, and I'm happy to set the record straight because Huge H3 fan. Watch every minute of it, so I know what I'm talking about. Okay. So this is Queen in Yellow constantly posting about Ethan, constantly posting lies about Ethan. And look, they have CPS right in their name because CPS was called on Ethan's children, potentially by someone in the snarker communities. There is no proof of that, of course, but come on. Okay, so according to this isn't going to court, honestly, like there's no shot. Ethan Klein admits his lawsuits were filed with the primary purpose of harassing the defendants rather than seeking a legitimate legal remedy. Is that what he admitted? Is that really what he admitted, or are you taking it and twisting it? That's not what he admitted. What Ethan said was that it's not going to make it to court, not because they're frivolous, not because they are, filled with legal holes and that the judge is going to throw it out. They're not going to make it to court because the 3 streamers are going to settle. They're going to beg to settle. Again, you know that. You know that's what it is. And you're lying. You're knowingly lying and misrepresenting everything Ethan says. And then being like, you're not being targeted. We're just misrepresenting every single thing you say to make you sound more evil than you are. Assuming he's a little bit evil, because we all are. Like, honestly, there's no shot. He was literally in this moment, you see that she's raising money. He was literally in this moment talking about the fact that these streamers will not have the money, the funds, to go through with the lawsuit. And that they are such slam dunks that they are going to settle. That is why they're not going to court. Not because they're hopelessly flawed lawsuits. I know you know that, Kat. I know you know the truth. And by the way, and maybe it'll get to this. I'll wait, because I'm sure that you put some stuff in there, and I'll have the counter for it. Why not just, yeah, okay. Intellectual dishonesty is 100% what I'm talking about. Oh, Freudian slip is so pretty. It's like a pale purple. It's like a muted lavender. I don't know if you can see it. My nails are already pink now, but why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop fucking lying. Right? Okay. Even he doesn't think they'll make it to court. Yes, because the 3 women are going to fucking settle because they don't have a chance in hell. Their lawyers will beg them to settle. Because Ethan's lawyer is like the top lawyer about that works on fair use. I know you know these things. I know you know these things. Okay. Wet my whistle here. Also, thanks everyone for being here. This is so fun. I hope you're having fun in chat. I'm reading a lot, so I can't really... Thank you, Bubblegum. Thank you. Okay. Oh, do I not have super chats turned on? I thought I did. Like, the little thing. All right, anyway. Despite his demand for a jury trial. What are you even talking about? But they are still going to be extremely expensive, time-consuming, and stressful. And they have provoked a torrent of misogynistic abuse aimed at these women who were already frequent targets. Let me say something. I have defended Denims and Frogan against misogynistic, sexist attacks on Twitter. And if they've popped up on H3... all of the girlies are usually downvoting that shit and shitting on the men that are doing it. I will say that. To me, there is no reason to reduce these women to their gender and belittle them for that reason. There are plenty of other reasons to criticize them. But also, they might be frequent targets of harassment because they keep putting themselves into the situation to be harassed by saying crazy shit about people. Because that's what I keep seeing. Not that the misogynistic attacks are warranted. But if people are telling him to shut the fuck up, I'm not surprised. Okay, there's also other stuff going on in the world, blah, blah, blah. Shout out Zoran for winning the fucking primary. Amazing. Thank you, Kat, for sharing that information. Back to Ethan Klein tormenting women. Amazing journalism, right? Gorgeous journalism. Super objective. This is stuff that you can really sink your teeth into and believe. Great sources. Well sourced. Oh, wow. What a change Kat has made. From really deep, primarily sourced journalism to this. Ha 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 ha! What did I say? What did I say? What did I say? Kat is a fallen fan, in my opinion. She came from frenemies, and she turned when the Trishy stands turned. I cannot believe it all goes back to Trisha Paytas. Of course it does. God, I'm good. All right, before Klein's epic fallout with Piker over Israel and Gaza, because they agree on literally everything except one state versus two state and supporting terrorists or not, Klein hosted an even more popular show called Frenemies. Oh, Trish is the victim. Are you guys ready for Trisha to be the victim? Let me see if I can guess what she's going to talk about. The erroneous claims that Trisha made that Ethan sexually harassed her. Let's see. The podcast was so successful that it elevated Paytas and Klein to new heights. That's true. But it crashed and burned after their numerous on-camera fights. That was crazy. I loved that show. Okay, again, to explain the lore would take too much time, blah, blah, blah. After Paytas departed the show, Klein became a frequent visitor to a now banned snark subreddit called Trishyland. Okay, I reported on the disturbing harassment the subreddit largely consisted of before it was taken down. That's really interesting. Let me open this and see if there are similarities to the way that the H3 snark is moving. And it'd be weird if you weren't also outraged by that, right? It's not snark, it's just dumb and mean. There's nothing snark and interesting about the way they discuss her. Stan culture includes fan bases ready to defend their favorite celebrities, while what are now commonly known as snark communities are dedicated to hating particular celebrities and can be just as aggressive. Just not the H3 snark, right? And all of the other subreddits that they've taken over, like FOMOA. And just like stan communities, snark communities can be broad and discuss entire genres of influencers, but more specific or targeted snark communities, such as the one that centers on Paytas, can often turn hateful. You don't say. You don't say. That community, however... Oh my gosh, thank you, $4.99. It's genuinely so biased
Cal
because...
Bailey gave $4.99.
I'm getting tea.
Cal Bailey rules. It's genuinely so biased because Kat's roommate for so long was Adam McIntyre. Adam never spoke out against Ethan or Pal/Isra until he was dissed.
Thank you for the tea. When I saw the article on Kat's page that had Adam in the picture, I was like, first of all, of course Adam is involved. And second of all, what is the connection? So thank you, because I didn't know the connection. Okay. Ethan made fun of Trishyland, saying they were basically a hate page, and memed on them for malding over menial things. I love the term malding, by the way. It's like such streamer core. Okay. That community, however, has also featured calls for people to take real-world action. One member believed to be affiliated with Paytas' fertility clinic was posted on Trishyland with the direction to introduce ourselves to the staff. Sounds kind of like concern trolling to the point that CPS gets called on someone. That's really interesting. When Paytas went on her honeymoon, a post asked subreddit members to tweet at her hotel and advise them of this PR nightmare. Sort of like doxing Ethan's house and address. The studio's address and a picture of the studio. Mailing human skulls to his house. But Ethan's making all that up. Trisha's subreddit was dangerous, but the H3 snark is fine. Who cares that his kids had to talk to a fucking CPS agent? So yeah, that is exactly as rich as I thought it would be. Reddit's rules against bullying and harassment. Reddit said it was closely reviewing the subreddit. Okay. So yeah, thank you. I knew that was going to be a humdinger, and it was. The users delighted in grotesque bullying around Paytas' appearance. He looks like he's on drugs. He looks like he takes Ozempic. Tracked down her real-life location. Again, the studio, his house. Tried to get her banned from various facilities. And, crucially, uploaded Paytas' content. Oh my god! Uploaded Paytas' content to avoid giving her views. Kat, you cannot be... How did you write this and not... How did you not implode from the irony? I don't understand, girl. They were also egregiously anti-Semitic toward her husband. Literally Hila's brother. This is like, it's a mirror image. It's a mirror image of what is happening in the Snark subreddit. Like, by the book. And she really wrote this, and is it a lack of self-awareness or is it willful lying? I don't really understand. Hope everyone's being nice in the comments. Okay, it's interesting that Klein showed Trishyland on his channel when his lawsuits against the three women, Frogan, Casey Tron, and Denims, includes that their streams were recommended by the H3 Snark subreddit as a way to watch Klein's content without... Hang on. It's interesting Klein showed Trishyland on his channel. The lawsuits, I don't know what she's trying to say there. Showed Trishyland on his channel. Does she have a frequent visitor? All right, let's see what this says. Let's see what this looks like. Ethan Klein having Trishyland as one of his most visited subreddits telling. Okay. So he goes to the subreddit. These aren't posts by him. These are posts by different people. They're not even all posts by the same person. Like, so you're not alleging that he's posting on there. You're not even alleging that he's pulled it up on the show. You're just alleging that he's been to Trishyland because it's one of the Reddit buttons. Let me tell you something. And I know you know this because I'm almost positive that you have been deep in Snark, H3 Snark. When you fucking hate somebody, reading through a Snark feels good. The way Ethan was treated by Trisha makes... let me tell you this, okay. I don't talk about this shit a lot, and I know that that saying it is going to get me in a world of shit, because every time I do, it does. But it's my story, and I'm allowed to talk about it. I have intimate experience with someone who was a lot like Trisha. In my opinion, they both have untreated or undertreated or mistreated borderline personality disorder. When you care about someone who has a personality disorder, the shit that they say to you and the shit that they do to you is confusing and heartbreaking and infuriating, and it makes no sense. It makes no sense. Right? And sometimes when that happens, when you are processing what has happened to you, the things you've been called, the private stuff that they have exposed about you, you're fucking angry. And you want a way to laugh at them. So I don't fault Ethan for enjoying Trishy Land. I don't remember him showing it on the show. If there's evidence of that, let me know. Because, yeah, I think that's stupid. I think platforming snark subreddits is dangerous and terrible and gross. But if you have ever been in a relationship of any kind with someone who is very mentally ill, you start feeling insane. And you kind of need someone to tell you, no, they're insane. So I have a feeling that that's what he was doing. Because remember, also at this time, HILA was completely being terrorized and traumatized by all the shit that Moses was doing. Trying to rip their family apart over Trisha. So this to me is like a nothing burger. I don't really see the argument here. A frequent visitor. Oh no, he looked at a subreddit. I don't see that at all. So the users did horrible things. Avoid giving her views. Like literally what Snark did. Literally what Denims and Frogan and Caseytron have allegedly done. And Ethan is suing them for. Here you're outraged about it. Why isn't it horrific when it happens to Ethan Klein? Why does Ethan deserve it? It's interesting that Klein showed Trishy Land on his channel. Where's the link to that? Show me the link to that. I would love to see the link to that because I don't remember that and I watch the show a lot. The lawsuits also seek to unmask the anonymous moderators of the H3 Snark subreddit. Good. Several of whom the suits say are women. Oh no! Are we not allowed to hold women accountable? Hang on. Kitty break. Look at this little guy. Look at this little baby. This is my new cat, Teddy. A man is not allowed to sue a woman. Oh no, some of the snarkers are women. Okay. Why does that matter? Look at the baby. Oh, look at his beautiful eyeliner. He's so cute. I was not choking him, by the way. Why do kittens smell so good? Why do kittens smell so good? Hassan had a snarker sending him notes during the debate. Yes, he did. He shows Trishy Land all the time on IG stories? Okay. Other unrelated women in the lawsuits too. Like who? We're missing sources here. Kat. I want to know if it's Catherine or Kathleen because I want to use your full name, your full government name. Including, so just drop it in the chat. 2 female Twitch employees who the suits assert are anti-Israel and anti-Semitic. Why is it material that they're women? I guess because you're positing that Ethan is a misogynist and he's only suing these women because they're women. Just today he posted on Instagram that if y'all know about men who have also pirated his video essentially, then you should tell him because he'll sue them too. And several of whom, so I assume he wants to unmask anonymous men as well, right? Anonymous male moderators as well. Seems thin, Kat. Seems thin. I see what you're trying to build here. Seems thin. The reason I bring up all these women is because Klein's lawsuits are catnip for the misogynistic ecosystem in the Twitch community and beyond. Okay, the 3 of them all launched GoFundMes for legal costs, and they've been swarmed by sexist harassment Frogan and Dems are both Arab women, and Frogan wears a hijab, so they're also targeted with other forms of bigotry. That's terrible and shouldn't happen. That's terrible. We can agree on that. That is stupid. And it's gross. And it's just like, it's like how the, like, anti-Israel movement, which I absolutely agree with, attracts, like, raging anti-Semites from the right. To the point that sometimes leftists get caught sharing, like, super hardcore Nazi talking points because they're anti-Israel. Yeah, that happens. These people are like hitchhikers. They don't have morals. They just hate people, which also sounds familiar. Someone told Denims to launch an OnlyFans to pay for legal costs. I thought she had one. I guess not. Why did I think she had one? Out of water again. Other people are ranking the women's funds based on their physical appearances. I haven't seen that. And honestly, why didn't you include like screenshots of this or links? Why wouldn't you put like a screenshot in here? Like you screenshotted Casey Tron's thing. You link out to their Twitters. So why aren't we doing links to someone and other people? Because I'm not going to go digging into the GoFundMe comments or wherever this is. Like, is this on Twitter? Is it on GoFundMe? Is it on Instagram? I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but sloppy journalism, Kat. Sloppy journalism. Well-known misogynists and bigots are in their replies mocking them. Again, not surprised. Hateful opportunists are gonna be hateful. I don't condone it at all. Duh. Fans of Klein are making small donations to their funds just to pile on more abuse in the payment descriptions. And impressingly, this is nothing new. I will say, this post got me in the feels, genuinely. And I responded to her. This is Casey Tron, one of the women that Ethan is suing, and she's really worried about paying for the lawsuit. The good news is that as recently as Friday, which was the H3 show's last show before their break, Ethan was talking about the fact that he's not really interested in collecting money from them, and was talking about other creative settlement opportunities like community service, taking Denims' street sign that says Denim Street so he can put it behind him, taking Frogan's Rising Star Award, like just petty shit. And I talked about this on my last stream, like as he was talking about the lawsuit and stuff, I was like, he should do what Taylor Swift did, where she countersued this guy who was suing her for defamation. She countersued because he had sexually assaulted her. And that's why he got fired. He wasn't defamed. So she countersued, knew she would win, and it was for $1, right? Because she doesn't need the money, and neither does Ethan. So if he goes after them for the money, I will have a problem with that, and I will let him know, for sure. And I think most of us will. I don't want people to suffer anywhere. I don't want suffering. So I responded to Casey Tron and told her about that and said, you know, he's offered and is thinking about more creative settlement options because it's not about the money, it's about the principle. Ethan is very, like, he's very generous with his money, and most people can get back on his good side very easily. So I don't think that he's trying to bankrupt these three women, even if his bluster seems to say that. When I first started on Twitch, right off the heels of Gamergate, I received so much harassment for just being a woman who told jokes. That's awful, and I'm sorry that happened to her. I honestly feel a sense of reliving some of that just from the way some comments are talking about me. That's terrible. Along with being fucking sued, I think that's what that's supposed to be. Was this a told me over DMs? Oh, okay. I have to deal with the man club underselling my life's work all over again. I felt like I finally had these fucking losers off my back and have just been focused on streaming to my mostly LGBTQ/women audience. Same with Ethan, actually. Majority woman audience. And now this. It fucking sucks being a woman in this industry. 100,000%. And I think that it seems like Twitch is like particularly gross because it's so gamer heavy, right? So I 100% agree with all of that. And I don't think that anyone should be harassing these women based on them being women. Or at all. Don't harass people. I think we can be critical of them and what they've done and what they've said. I mean, Casey Tron herself called Hila a cunt. Like, what are we, like, okay. There's plenty to critique them about without being sexist. Women with long online careers like Casey Tron have already endured harassment from internet figures who Klein has aligned himself with in this crusade against Piker. Such as who? Does she say? Harassment from internet figures. Okay, so but she doesn't name anybody. Again? Can we show some receipts there? Some sources of both these people saying things and also the connection between Ethan and these people? People who were ecstatic to see his lawsuit regardless of its merits. Well, I guess a judge will show us its merits, right? These women haven't meaningfully threatened Klein's powerful position on YouTube. And that's not the point. The millions of views he gets, his millionaire status, or his legions of dedicated fans who are hungry to rip into his enemies. This is how I know in my heart, in my opinion, that Kat is deep into snark because she thinks everyone operates the way snark does. I am a huge fan. I am in the Reddit all the time, like reading shit, and the vibe that I get is we all just want this shit to fucking stop. Like, we're annoyed and we're frustrated and we're talking about it a lot, obviously. But we miss the goofs and gaffs. You know? We miss the fucking goofs and gaffs. We don't want this to keep going, but it keeps going because Ethan keeps being harassed to new levels. Like, shit was just starting to slow down, and then fucking CPS gets called. And then it's kind of a lull, and then fucking skulls get mailed to their house, and they didn't even tell us about that one until later. Like, we're not all just sitting around foaming at the mouth waiting for orders, you know? Klein is more powerful than them, and he is reveling in it. I don't know how true that is. He's definitely more powerful than them. But the good news is they have someone powerful on their side. Hassan. So hopefully he'll be stepping up to help them, right? The cost to women on these platforms is yet another chilling example of what powerful men can do to you if you piss them off. Klein didn't respond to my request for comment. It's not about them pissing him off. People piss Ethan off all the time, and he doesn't sue them. This is about the fact that for over a year, 2 years now, essentially since around October 7th, and then the end of Leftovers, there has been a coordinated harassment campaign. And I know that you know that, Kat, because there is evidence that you have shared in this article that you get your information, at least to some degree, about Ethan from one of the snark subreddits. So I know you know the timbre and the tone that people are using in these snark subreddits. I also don't know if I believe that you reached out for a comment or how you actually reached out. That would be interesting to know. I won't say I don't believe you. I will say I wonder how you reached out, because if you did it on Twitter, he's not on Twitter. He doesn't respond to shit on Twitter. So that's the article. And I say article loosely, and I think that Kat would agree with that. This isn't an article. This is an op-ed. This is an opinion piece that hasn't been vetted by anybody outside of herself. She has used flawed and disproven sources several times. She has used sources from highly biased Twitter accounts that regularly traffic in snark talking points and just flat out lies. And then there are places where she doesn't cite anything at all. She just makes claims and doesn't cite them at all. So, yeah, I don't think that this really has much merit to it as an article, even as like a persuasive piece. I'm not persuaded. Like the jump from the Trishy Land stuff to the people who Ethan apparently associates with, but you didn't name them or show proof of that. All of that being like evidence that he's misogynistic is thin. It's very thin, as I said, and I didn't see anything in here that really would convince me. And of course, I'm harder to convince than snarkers, because yeah, I watch Ethan a lot. I enjoy him. I think that he overall is a good person who does dumb shit, just like me, just like you. I think he's entertaining. Not everybody does. I don't think he's this like evil monster. I don't think that he wants... I don't think he's trying to like get Israel to colonize the world because he cares about his literal family members that live there and his wife who was born there. I think he's genuinely worried about anti-Semitism, and seeing people that he cares about or cared about telling him that he's making it up, literally hallucinating it, is what they've said. Yeah, I would find that really upsetting too. So yeah, I mean, we're going to see what a judge thinks. Like, all of this is well and good, but we will see what a judge thinks about it. And really in this article, you've just kind of proven that he's not misogynistic based on this. Maybe you have grounds to believe that in other senses, but I mean, you outright say that he's trying to unmask all of the Reddit users, some of whom are women and some of whom are not women. Which is proof that he's not just targeting women because he thinks, what, that they're weaker than men? Like, that's like a leap that you seem to be making. I don't know. This feels, as an editor, this feels a little disorganized. It feels a little unfinished, a little rushed. I would have liked more sources, for sure. Maybe some more screenshots of things to really bolster your points. And obviously, I would have liked comment from Ethan. Right? If we're talking about journalism and trying to get the full story. But that's not what this was. That's not what this was about. Yeah. That's not what this was at all. This was its own thing. And here's something interesting that I thought y'all would like to see. Did I already link it up here? Let me see for a sec. Not that, not that. Nope, those are both cats. All right, so there was an interesting tweet from a while ago by Kat herself talking about the integrity of online journalists, essentially. So here is what Kat said. And I just think this is from 3 years ago, December 2022. And it's just so... The thing about the internet is it's forever. And there's always something in the background, right? That might make your case a little difficult. All right, so she said, in journalism school, they teach you about the rush to print the news first and the consequences of getting things wrong in the process. So this is about Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion. The bloggers reporting a false not guilty Tory Lanez verdict didn't go to J school, journalism school, but what's worse is they'll face few, if any, consequences. And here is the one that I was like, that is fucking rich. That is rich. After reading that, to see this tweet, hang on, let me move the chat so y'all can read it. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. All right, here we go. There we go, everybody. Okay, If you worked for a reputable news outlet and tweeted something blatantly false, impossibly false, which a lot of that article is, and I'm sure things you've said on Blue Sky now, you'd get disciplined, if not fired. Who is disciplining these bloggers? The legal system hasn't caught up to them yet, and they are causing real harm. Who is disciplining these bloggers? Kat, would you say that Spitfire News is basically a blog? I mean, it's a newsletter. But in my opinion, it's laid out like a blog. The content reads like a blog. Like the length, the word count on these is pretty bloggy, right? Feels like you're a blogger now. And one with a pretty deep journalistic background. So it's interesting to me how outraged you were by the shitty journalism happening on blogs. And then only 3 years later, you publish absolute slop about somebody who I feel like you're lying about. Is this like an ends justify the means thing? Like what's going on? It seems like maybe your values have shifted, or you've decided that Ethan is so dangerous it's okay to lie about him?
Alexa Nikolas gave $20. Alexa Nikolas rules. This was in my legal letter. Before she got let go, I'm just saying.
This was in my legal letter before she got let go, I'm just saying. Oh, interesting. Yeah, so I just wonder about that. Because, listen, I think that legacy media deserves criticism, and I definitely think that independent journalism is important in a lot of ways for a lot of reasons. And I hope that it continues to grow. But when you present yourself as a journalist, an award-winning journalist, as you say on your page, and you say you're doing the news, right? Even if it's pop culture, internet stuff, it should still be truthful. I think there's still, because you've positioned yourself as a journalist, I think there's still an implication, an assumption from readers that you're trying to get to the truth, that you're working to find the truth, which to me is what journalism is about. Maybe I'm wrong. I didn't go to journalism school, J school. But you're not looking for the truth here. You're serving your own biases. You're confirming your biases, the biases of others. That's like, I feel like that's like journalism 101 to not do that, right? Even if it's your opinion, even if it's an opinion piece, I expected more from a journalist. I expected better sources. And maybe a comment from Ethan. Or literally anyone. Besides the people being sued. Like, get the other side of it. So yeah, if this is the new journalism, I don't want it. I think we need to do something different. And as a writer, specifically, I don't like seeing words being abused, words being used to justify harassing people. And I know you don't either. Talked about it with Trisha. And also the women who are being sued. I don't like words being used for evil or to the detriment of anyone or to cause more suffering. And I think that you, and I haven't talked about her much here, but you and Taylor have been doing a little bit of that through hyperbole and exaggeration and I don't want to say it's willful dishonesty, but it's hard for me to believe that you guys, who are very smart women, believe the stuff you're saying about Ethan. Especially because you've both had like your own personal experiences with him. It's hard for me to believe that you actually think that the stuff that you're saying is true. And you're both journalists, and like you both refuse to like research the other side. That feels weird to me. Is that not weird to you? Thank you, Burnsy. Is it double? Can you guys? It's like echoing. It's fucking creepy. I don't know why it's doing that. Is it on here twice? Is that why? I don't fucking know. I'll work on it. So that's all I had to say. That's all I had to say. Fucking 2.5 hours later. Sounds very like right-wing media. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, it's definitely either malicious or willful ignorance. The information is readily available for those who genuinely want to know. And that's the thing. Like when I talked to Taylor Lorenz briefly in DMs before she told me Ethan killed his dog, essentially, that she believed that, which she still hasn't said she doesn't believe, as far as I know. I kept saying like, well, where are you getting your information? Like, how are you getting this information? She's like, I'm not wrong just because I don't get my information from the same subreddit that you do. I'm like, okay, girl, but you're definitely getting it from some subreddit because it's pretty fucking obvious. But yeah, she like refused to. I kept saying like, you should actually watch Ethan and not watch him filtered through like 1 to 3 other people who you agree with, right? That feels like the journalistic thing to do, primary source, right? But yeah, she wasn't interested. So yeah, it feels willful to the, yeah, it feels willful. Willful ignorance because she, like, they're just like refusing to hold space for the possibility that the truth might be somewhere in the middle. Yeah, so there's that. Wait, there was a post in H3 subreddit on DM with Taylor about Ethan killing his dog. Yeah, someone posted it in there because I had shared it on Twitter. I did a video about it a while ago. And it got picked up there. It's very Adam McIntyre coded. Yeah, it's all very like mean girl middle school shit. Yeah, I have a video about it. You can watch it. I mean, it's not a ton. Like, there's a short about it. Like, a reel. Is it a short on YouTube? Like, there's a little more to it. It's not, like, a huge thing. It was a little tiny DM conversation that we had when I was trying to, like, tell her about this, like, crazy story about Ethan being harassed from all angles and it having real-world consequences. Which they apparently care about, but just not when it's Ethan. And it's interesting because Ethan sues women, that's misogynistic, just on its face. But attacking Ethan, he's a Jewish man. By the transitive property, that's probably not right. That could, in your world, validly be considered anti-Semitic, but he's hallucinating. Oh my God. It's mean girl, but also blatantly avoiding facts that don't boost them up as saviors. Yeah, there's just so many layers to it. The emotional impact and harassment I dealt with because of Kat is insane. Well, and there's also, we talked about earlier, there was the emotional impact and the tragic fallout from Michaela from Save a Fox, you know? Like, this stuff is serious. This stuff is serious and can be serious in real life, and it sucks. I don't want anyone harassed. I don't want anyone to be suffering. I want my goofs and gaffs back, you know? The world sucks. Like, we shouldn't be attacking each other, especially when we all agree on the same shit. That's the crazy part. So yeah. Great coverage on this. Glad the snarkers in chat didn't ruin the vibes. I was talking so much and reading that I didn't even notice them. And that's fine. They can be here. Oh my god, I didn't realize Ethan is younger than Taylor. I'm not saying this to be shady. I don't know what Taylor's real age is. Anissa tea is so tasty though. This stream is so iconic and validating. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, like I've said on other streams, like I just don't have anyone to talk to about this stuff because no one else watches H3. So, and everything has just been coming out, and obviously they're on break and no one's talking about it. And like, I don't know, I feel like we should have our own little response community happening here. And there are some others that I found recently. So they're out there. We are out here. Imagine being a 40-plus-year-old snarker. Holy cow. Yeah, for real. She did say in its opinion piece, why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Ooh, oh my god. Stop fucking lying. Maybe my favorite. No, it's not my favorite H3 song. It's definitely Passports. Thank you guys. Yeah, I need to go to fucking bed. I did not expect this to take so long, but this has been so fun. Thank you all. Yeah, subscribe and come back. I actually, I have another topic that I want to talk about. I thought I would get to it tonight, but this was just too juicy. I want to watch the video of Runkle, who is a legal expert. He's a lawyer in Canada, breaking down the lawsuits. So I'm gonna sort of zoom through that tomorrow if I can, and make some notes. And I will probably maybe be back. I'll probably do another stream on Friday because tomorrow night I have poker with my friends. So 102 watching. Oh my god, this is amazing. Feminism is a problem. Yeah, same time. We'll say 9:30. And if you subscribe, I think you'll see when I make the actual stream. I'll post it so y'all can see it. Thank you all for being here. Bye everybody. Have a great night. Family, peace and love.